What's up guys, my name is Marc Steiner, and today we are going to be comparing the Sony XM5 and the Apple Airpods Max. Which one is better? My results might surprise you. Let's start with the physical design of these headphones. The Airpods Max ear cups and telescoping headband are completely made of metal, and the headband is made of silicone and this mesh material, which does feel good on the head, but not the most comfortable. Whereas the Sonys are made pretty much entirely of plastic and have cushioning everywhere. The Airpods Max definitely have better build quality, but because of the material choice, they are significantly heavier and are less comfortable on the head, especially for longer listening sessions. The XM5s are the clear winner when it comes to comfort and long listening sessions. The Sony XM5s have shaved off a few grams of weight as well as a massive redesign compared to their predecessors, definitely taking a lot of design cues from the Airpod Max with its larger and more square ear cups, as well as with the telescoping headband. As part of this redesign, the headphones definitely cater to larger ears with roomier ear cups and larger heads. Personally, I don't love the fit of the new XM5s. I have to have the headband on the smallest setting just so they sit right on my head, and because I have a smaller head, there's not enough clamping force so they fit a little looser on my head. The Airpods Max, although heavier and cumbersome, definitely have more clamping force and they sit more securely on my head. I personally tend to wear hats while listening to headphones out and about, and the Airpods Max definitely fit better on my head with a better seal around my ears because of that clamping force, whereas the Sonys don't always have the best seal, allowing for some outside noise to come in. These headphones take two very different approaches when it comes to controls and ports. The Airpods Max has two buttons on the right ear cup, the crown, which feels like the Apple Watch. This controls the volume up down, play pause, next and previous song, as well as accepting and ending calls. And the other button is to toggle between noise cancelling and transparency mode. It also features the very outdated lightning port. The Sonys, on the other hand, keep the same button and touchpad layout as their predecessors, but much improved. The touchpad is now more sensitive and accurate, and I found myself not having to repeat swipes to get what I wanted. Swipe up for volume up, down to decrease the volume, forward for the next song, back for the previous song, and double tap to play pause and accept and end phone calls. The XM5s have a USB-C port, a power button, and a noise cancelling and transparency toggle button. I enjoy both headphones' implementation of the controls, but there's no clear winner here. It really just comes down to personal preference. These headphones are the two best headphones on the market when it comes to noise cancelling. The previous XM4s had really good noise cancelling, and the Airpods Max beat it out marginally, and I think this time Sony has closed the gap, if not overtaken them. With no headwear, these headphones trade blows when it comes to noise cancelling. The Sonys are better in certain conditions, the Airpods are better in others. For me personally, it's a bit of a toss-up. Because of the clamping force issue, especially when I'm wearing a hat, I would give the edge to the Airpods Max just because they fit on my ears and seal a little bit better. However, if I'm not wearing a hat, both are really good, and I would give the edge to the Sony XM5s. However, you have to understand that the XM5s are a year and a half newer, and something from Apple could be coming right around the corner. Something that absolutely blew my mind when it came to the Airpods Max was the pass-through mode. This is something that Apple excels in, and something that the previous XM4s really sucked at. It was so bad on the XM4s that I never even enabled this feature and never used it. That being said, the XM5s are vastly improved. While still not as good as the Airpods Max, it's definitely good enough to use, and I do find myself using it instead of taking my headphones off. I can definitely tell that I have headphones on while using this feature because while using it on the XM5s, my voice is very muffled, but the outside noises are pretty clear, and that's what really matters. The Airpods Max is still the gold standard, and it sounds like I don't even have headphones on. It's just that clear with no latency, and I absolutely love it. So this is a clear win for the Airpods, but the gap is closing quickly. Let's talk about call quality. This one surprised me. I've been used to the Airpods Max being the gold standard when it comes to voice call quality, and I expected them to continue winning this time around because the XM4s, while better than the predecessor, were still not the best, especially in louder situations, and I expected the XM5s to not improve upon that much. But I was mind blown. I think the XM5s by far have the best call quality and microphone system of any headphone on the market. Every time I had a phone call or FaceTime call, everyone was always shocked at how clear I sounded, and they asked me what microphone I was using. And I told them I was using the new XM5s, and they said it's the best and most clear they had heard me, and I loved that. Sony's mic quality has definitely improved. I remember on the XM3s, it was basically unusable. On the XM4s, it was usable in quiet environments, but really hard in louder environments, and here we are with the XM5s, the best call quality I've ever heard, outperforming the AirPods Max, not only in silent, quiet environments, but really, really loud environments, which means the noise rejection is also really superb on the XM5s, and I'm just mind blown how good they sound.
This is the kind of mic quality you can expect from the Sony XM5s in a nice quiet or home office environment. This is going to be great for Zoom calls, for FaceTime calls, for normal audio calls. This is the kind of stuff you can expect from these headphones. This is a test of the AirPods Max mic quality in a very quiet situation. So this would be like a home office or an office when you're on your Zoom calls, FaceTime calls, phone calls. This is the kind of audio quality you can expect in that type of environment from the AirPods Max. This is a test of the XM5's mic quality, so you can hear it in a more outdoor environment. So if you're taking a call while you're out and about walking in a fairly quiet outdoor environment, this is the kind of call quality you can expect. This is a test of the AirPods Max mic quality in a more outdoor environment, so you can kind of see and get a feel for what you would sound like if you're taking a call outside.
Both headphones have really good mic quality, but I'm going to be giving the win to the Sonys on this one. The beauty of being part of the Apple ecosystem is that everything just works, and the AirPods Max connect to all your devices and can seamlessly switch in between them. In the early days of the AirPods Max, I found myself getting really annoyed by this feature because it wouldn't work, it would switch to a device that I wasn't even using, and it's a huge debacle, and it always infuriated me. Many firmware updates later, and this issue is now resolved, and I have a very seamless time switching between my multiple devices, and it doesn't switch when I don't want it to, which I really appreciate. It is very convenient not having to unpair and repair every time I want to use a new device, and because I have multiple Apple products, I'm switching between my iPad, my iPhone, my Apple Watch, and my MacBook Pro, so I have quite a few devices that it's just really convenient when I have the AirPods Max paired to them. The XM5s can connect to 2 devices at a time, just the same as their predecessor, the XM4s, but this is vastly improved. From what I've noticed, on the XM4s, there was always a 3 to 5 second delay if you pause whatever you were doing on one device and then switched over to the other device. And then if you didn't pause what you were doing, it would be a 10 to 15 second delay between switching devices. Now with the XM5s, I've noticed a near, if not flawlessly the same Apple level of switching between devices, and that is really, really good. It is only between 2 devices, but I think for the most part, that's not a bad thing. I currently have it paired to my iPhone and my iPad, and it works seamlessly and it does exactly what I want it to, and I love it. Now on to the big factor, sound quality. I'm gonna be completely honest with you on this one. I'm a little disappointed. After listening to the AirPods Max and the XM4s over the past 2 years, I've been spoiled with how good noise canceling headphones can sound. So when I finally got my XM5s in hand, I was expecting them to be the same, if not better, than the predecessors. And right out of the box, I was really disappointed. I was shocked at how muddy the XM5 sounded. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just this pair of headphones. I so happen to have a second pair because I'd bought a pair for my dad. Let me pair those and see if it's just like a malfunctioning headset. So I paired the new headphones and the exact same thing happened. Horrible sound quality, really muddy, really disappointed. And I thought, okay, you know what? There's a firmware update out. Let me update the headphones. Maybe this will solve my problem. So I updated both headphones and they still sounded like garbage. And then I thought, you know what? Not to worry, I can EQ these headphones. Sony has one of the best apps on the market when it comes to headphone customization. I'll just get in there and EQ them. So I got onto the app and I copied the same EQ that I had on my XM4s onto the XM5s, and they still sounded like garbage. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's the new drivers. I know that there were 40mm drivers on the XM4s, there are 30mm drivers on the XM5s, and there's a different sound profile on the XM5s. I gotta just start from scratch and pretend like the XM4s don't exist, and I'll EQ it as I see fit. And about a week and a half later, I finally got an EQ that I thought was a little bit more comparable, and it was better, definitely better on the ears, a vast improvement to what the stock sound sounded like. But even after all that, after all those excuses, after all that tinkering, the XM5s just don't sound as good as the XM4s in my opinion, and definitely don't sound as good as the AirPod Max. It really looks like going from 40mm to 30mm drivers did have an impact on sound quality on these headphones. And I wanted to be professional and as unbiased as possible, and that is my unbiased conclusion. The XM5s are a step down in audio quality. However, that is me having the privilege of comparing them side by side from the AirPods Max to the XM4 to the XM5. Most people aren't going to be listening to them in that kind of situation. So when you're out in the real world listening to them, they're absolutely fine. The noise canceling is great, the music is great, and it is good. There's nothing wrong with them. But after hearing and getting accustomed to the XM4 and the AirPods Max, the XM5 just don't stand up in audio quality. The XM5 have definitely been tuned for more modern pop music, and you can tell when you're listening to other genres of music, they kind of suffer in certain areas. The soundstage of the XM5s is not as wide as it was on the XM4s, and the vocals take a noticeable hit to clarity and separation compared to the previous generation as well. The Sony XM4s definitely sound better to my ear than the XM5s, and they're definitely closer to the gold standard of the AirPods Max. I will, however, say that I'm doing all these tests on Apple devices and I'm using my iPhone, which is what I use on a daily basis, but when I did pair these headphones to an Android device, the sound quality got noticeably better. So I don't know what's going on there. If you're an Android user, this is good news for you, but as an iPhone user, it's not as good as the previous generation. So here's the tricky part, and this is why I'm having such a difficult time reviewing these headphones. The XM5s are an upgrade in every way except the two that matter to me most: fit and comfort, and sound quality. The noise canceling is now tied for the best, if not the best on the market. The call quality is by far the best on the market. Transparency mode has been vastly improved and is now usable. The touchpad is now more accurate and usable than ever before, and the cushioning is a lot better, and for people with bigger ears and bigger heads, a lot better. But at the end of the day, I prefer the fit and comfort of the XM4s over the XM5s on my head, and I also prefer the sound quality of the XM4s. Let's talk about price. The XM5s have gone up in price and are now $400, and the AirPods Max can be found on discount for around $450. This changes a lot of things because when the AirPods Max first came out, they were $550, and the XM4s were about $350, usually on discount around $300. So that was a huge price difference for not a lot of improvement. But now, with that closing price gap, I still think that the AirPods Max are a better deal when you're comparing the XM5s and the AirPods Max. So my final conclusion between the battle of the AirPods Max and the XM5s is get the XM4s. They are still an amazing headphone. I think they outperform the XM5s in terms of sound quality and comfort, and you can find them on discount for under $300 regularly. So I think if you're looking for the best bang for buck, that is still the way to go, and I love my XM4s. If you're in the Android world, you're not even thinking about the AirPods Max, and if you really want to debate between the brand new XM5s and the AirPods Max is the better choice overall. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. My name is Marc Steiner, and I'll see you next time.